Well,
we're back.
We are back with the finale of Outlander season 4, Man of Worth, episode 13.
Who could it be?
Who could it be? Well, so welcome back to our last and final review and theory discussion of Outlander season 4. Thanks for sticking with us this whole season, guys.
It's been fun.
It's been something.
It's
So let's just start right in like we always do. So we open with the tribe where Roger is being kept. And then just around the corner is Jamie and his gang, Claire, and what's that little kid's name?
Ian.
Yes.
And
Ian and Rollo.
Young Ian.
And they just like walk on in and they're like, hey, we want to trade for your man Roger. And they're like, oh yeah, dog face. Okay.
Yeah.
And
that's what we call him here.
The trade is like it's actually going well so far.
Yeah, like they all seem like open to it.
Yeah, they start off by saying like peace, no violence, like greetings, and they're like open to this.
Except for the chief, who seems a little skeptical. He's like, why do you want him?
But he was open to the idea until Claire freaking, and like, why didn't she think of this? Like, she found that on a dead body of a Native American. And like, she saw the vision and everything. You don't think that they might get spooked by freaking seeing that? Or maybe that was one of their people? Like, I would not have been wearing that around, I'll tell you that.
I completely forgot about the stone until like she takes off her scarf and you see it and everyone's like, ooh, no.
It's apparently Otter Tooth's necklace.
So we find out, if you remember back at the very beginning of the season.
The really weird episode.
Yeah, that weird episode when Claire got separated from Jamie and she is like out in the rain and she finds the skull.
She finds a friend.
She finds a friend out in the storm. And then she sees like a ghost of this Native American guy coming towards her with like black in his eyes. And she's like, well, that was weird. Anyway.
So like they see that and she's like, oh no, it's okay. And they're like, no, it's not. You're wearing Otter Tooth's necklace. And like we banished that guy and then we killed him because he kept coming back because he came to us from like a different time, he said. And then he told us to kill all the white men because we had to save our people.
Right.
And Claire knew that this guy was from the future already. But what we didn't know was that the tribe didn't really listen to him. They started to. And then the chief was like, oh, this is bad. It's bringing so much violence. They thought he was possessed.
Yeah.
And they thought that stone was like carrying the possession for him or something. And so they're like, got rid of it.
Yeah.
And then so if it's coming back, they're like, oh, his ghost is following that stone and you now. And so they asked them to leave it once and they have to.
Right.
So
they're just like, we're going to ask you nicely now. Like, you need to leave.
Yeah. And they
like,
do. For once, they don't fight back. And it's like, but then they have like ulterior motives.
Yeah. As soon as they walk away, Jamie's like, so I'm going to go back tonight for Roger. And Claire's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going back to my daughter without him. It's not happening.
So meanwhile, Brianna is back at River Run. And she's ready to pop, pretty much. Murtaugh is there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that we didn't see John Gray in this episode at all. Like,
didn't he get called back? They mentioned that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're like, he got called back to duty, but we expect him back soon. Yeah. She was going to have that baby sort of like alone. And Murtaugh is sort of like saying all these things, Santa Costa, like you should help fight the rebellion. You could use your,
your influence
for our cause. And she's like, how dare you? And then the next scene, they're like in bed together. And surprise, because I don't think anybody saw that coming.
No, I mean, I kind of did just based on the fact that they were building up this relationship with them.
Like only really this episode. It seemed like they hated each other. Before that.
I mean, no, because remember when he first arrives and she's like, "Oh, Murtaugh, I like you."
That's true.
So I kind of felt like they were putting something there, and we found out from watching the end scene, the creator basically said, like, in the books, Murtaugh's actually dead. Yeah.
So this is a surprise for everyone.
Yeah. So this is just like a story they threw in there just for kicks. It's just
they're just like keeping him around, and she's kind of like, "You've outgrown, welcome." Yeah. And then she's just sleeping with him the next scene. She's like, "Stay."
Yeah. Like, oh, this is gonna
leave
go
me,
well.
Don't leave me. Yeah, it's like that classic back and forth. I think that's gonna be the main thing we focus on next season. Actually,
I could see
so
that
just popping around between different lovebirds and like concluding their stories. Like they kind of running out of couples here, so they just threw some together. So back at the tribe, a couple of the tribe members actually like ambush Jamie and Claire and Ian and want that necklace. They're like, we want it. We want to see what the prophecy is for this.
Yeah. And Claire at first is like, well, if you let our friend go, sure. And they're like, well, we can completely
take it from you. And then the next scene, they're sitting by a fire.
Yeah. Because she basically stops. She's like, but why? Why do you want the stone?
Yeah.
And then you see them kind of go like, all right, I guess we got time to explain this.
Yeah, and they're all sitting by a fire, and then all of a sudden, it's okay for Claire to be like, we'll trade you if you help us, and that no longer do they want to take it out of force.
Yeah. It's interesting because I don't, like, Claire and Jamie and them didn't really get to explain why I guess because they decided to listen, they showed them that, like, oh, we want to know your reasons. Like, we can't, like, we respect why you want this. We're not just gonna, I don't know, like, fight you for it. Like, we actually care. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. That's my understanding because, I don't know why they would change their mind all of a sudden.
And so they do.
Yeah.
They go back and they try to help Roger escape. All of them now.
And then, like, one freaking guard comes and ruins it.
I know, he's standing there, and then the woman is like, don't tell the others. And he's like, and then everybody comes running, and all chaos breaks. So they capture all of them. All the natives who helped with that plan get banished out of the village, which is really sad.
Yeah, I felt really bad for them.
All their fault. It all just stems for, like, Jamie and Claire just create chaos everywhere they go.
Pretty much.
And, like,
yeah, so then they basically are like, the chief basically tells them, so you guys gotta go.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are horrible. Like, we should kill you, but we're not gonna kill you.
Yeah, she's like, we want to leave in peace. And Claire's just like, oh, well, can we just take Roger with us? And they're like, nope, he's staying here. And they're like, well,
no trades, goodbye. But then Jamie's like, wait, take me instead.
Yeah, and then Claire's like,
and I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I was not surprised at all. I knew that, but what I thought was going to be the outcome was like, okay, next season they're going to have to try to get Jamie back.
Yeah,
But then little Ian comes out and he's like, by the way, I negotiated a trade for me instead, Uncle.
Yeah.
And Jamie's like, what?
And he's like, it's cool. Like, I'm going to stay here and live with the Mohawk.
I gave my word. And it's like, wait, hold on, what? Ian? Like, that I didn't see that coming. And I actually think it's sort of a cheap way to get out of that whole, like, Jamie staying there. And, like,
I guess, but
call off his character, like, just
I don't know. I kind of personally can see how they were building up to it the whole season, because we saw when they first moved out there and they first found out about the Mohawk, like, Ian was very interested in them.
But
like, everyone else was scared.
Elizabeth.
Oh, I forgot about
That's why I was just like, he can't stay here. He has this other love interest.
Yeah, well, I guess not everyone gets their love interest. Unless,
That's stupid.
He probably will next. I bet you, because we saw how that ended. Like, he goes through the same process that Roger did,
but he passes.
But he passes.
Roger just looks like a puss compared to him.
But to be fair, Roger was put through, like, months of traveling before he had to do. So he was weak. Like, Ian was already just like, he was in a good.
Ian was like doing acrobatics through that lineup. So they basically, they put him through that lineup and are trying to, like, beat him up and shit. And he gets to the end and is like, woo! And then he comes like a Mohawk.
Yeah, they're like, you're part of.
And he just, like,
seems pretty excited about it.
I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I think he kind of all along was just wanted something like
somewhere to belong.
Yeah, I think he didn't feel like he belonged with Jamie so much. He didn't really feel like he belonged at home, which is why he went with Jamie.
Yeah.
And then even with Jamie, he's like, this isn't really my calling.
This is his true calling. The people who, burned people alive for 3 days and captured Roger and weren't going to be agreeable about anything.
But I could see it becoming a big thing next season where, the Mohawk come to Jamie's rescue or, because of Ian.
I'm just glad that Rollo got to stay with him, because I would have been really upset if Rollo had to go back with Jamie and Claire and leave Ian. So anyway, so they're bringing Roger back, and Roger beats the shit out of Jamie.
Yeah, and Jamie just takes it. He's like, well, you kind of owe me.
I know, but then they sort of get into a little fight afterwards of like, you are coming back for my daughter, right? After they tell Roger all about her being raped, and it could not be she's pregnant, and it may or may not be his baby, and Stephen Bonnet. And then
they gave him all the deets.
And then Jamie starts to get mad at Roger, like, how dare you? Like, where were you when she got raped? Just because you left her. And then Roger punches them again, and Jamie says the best line of the episode, which is like, that will be the last blow unreturned. something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Jamie.
Oh, Jamie.
You tell him.
Yeah.
And then, like,
he gets beat up a lot this season.
Yeah,
Poor
always,
Jamie.
always.
Poor Jamie.
And Roger is like, needs time to think about this.
Yeah, and Claire basically, like, she stops Jamie, and she's like, it's okay.
He needs to think about
time.
this. We don't want him to come if
Like,
he's just going to leave again.
Yeah, and this is a lot of information, honestly, to throw at him after being tortured for days.
But Jamie's just not having it.
No,
Jamie's
I mean,
like,
Jamie's also like,
uh-uh.
Yeah, I can see from his point of view too, like he's also really stressed out. He had a huge falling out with his daughter. He just wants everything to be right again.
Also, he just gave up his nephew for this man.
Yeah.
And if he's not going to come back home with him, what the hell was the point of that? I would have been pissed too.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they're all like on edge for different reasons.
We go back to River Run and Brianna's having the baby.
Mm-hmm.
She's birthing the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then she wakes up. It's a boy. Yay.
Yeah. And then suddenly 2 months go by.
2 months. Boom, just like that. That's how Outlander works.
Yeah.
And
we're like, okay. And she's just there, like sitting with Murtaugh, talking.
And then
like,
someone
with the
tells
baby.
her, like, hey,
your parents are here.
we see your mom coming
Yeah.
up the road. And she's like, what? And she
Yeah.
opens the door with her baby and she sees her parents. And she, instead of being happy, she's like, Roger?
Yeah, there's no Roger with them.
Actually, in the like after episode, like behind the scenes look or whatever, that was supposed to be the ending, was her asking her parents, where's Roger? And it was supposed to cut to black.
Right.
And that's how I thought they were going to end it.
Me too.
And I think that would have been a great cliffhanger for next season.
Yeah.
And they did want to have that reunion, though, of Brianna and Roger, which I think could have waited until next season, but they did show it in this episode, and it was a good one.
It was one of those like classic sort of musical moments where like the buildup of the music and they're both running towards each other.
And they embrace, and he says, I love you, and I will always love you, and everything's happy.
Yeah.
And then they go back. He goes, where's my son? So he's completely embraced that this may or may not be his kid, but he's still going to raise it as if it's his own.
Uh-huh.
And then all these redcoats come. They're hiding Murdoch, and they're like, they're coming for you. But instead, they just hand him a letter. They hand Jamie a letter, and then they shake off.
Yeah, I was like, why did they need a whole troop of guys to give Jamie a letter?
He's a very important person, apparently. And this is the cliffhanger. Jamie reading the letter, being like, my first order of business is to find and kill the outlaw Murdoch.
Yeah.
And then boom, we cut to black. And what a lackluster ending for the season finale.
Yeah, especially just because we already knew that was something they wanted him to be doing this entire season.
We knew that.
The Lord Tryon had basically told Jamie early on in the season, like, oh, this guy Murtaugh is causing trouble. Like, we need you to round him up. And Jamie's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I guess that.
And now all of a sudden, like, he gets this special notice saying, like, this is what you must do. I was
really hoping they would show something with Stephen Bonnet.
Me
for
too.
The end cliffhanger.
Yeah. But I guess, we're not going to see him till next season. So maybe they want us to kind of forget about him and be like,
so it's like, surprise!
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to forget about that man.
No, especially like now Roger knows about him. Like everyone knows about him.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah, I kind of like that part where when they tell Roger about, when Jamie and Claire tell him about Stephen Bonnet, raping her, and he's just like, Bonnet! And they're like, oh, you know him? And he's like, oh my God,
I know him.
Yeah, and he's just like, he's a monster. They're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Everyone can bond over their hatred for Stephen Bonnet.
Yeah.
But that pretty much sums up the finale for Outlander Season 4, Episode 13, Man of Motive, which, by the way, is not Man of Motive, Man of Worth. By the way, is Ian. It was a line.
Well, it was all of them. That's basically what they said. Like, they all had to prove their worth in this.
But it was specifically a line that was said to Ian earlier in the season by Jamie.
True. That is true.
So,
I mean, it probably could have been said to anyone. So, I mean, yeah, Ian definitely proved his worth by, like, I think he made the biggest step for sure in this season where he said, like, I'm going to give myself up for my whole family, for this guy I'd never even met before.
Oh, Ian.
He was just, I feel so sad. I hope he's going to be okay.
He's okay. He was like, he's a Mohawk now. He's fine.
I guess so.
But let us know if you saw anything in this episode that we missed, or if you have any theories for next season in the comments below. We do read and respond to all of them.
Yes,
and make sure to like this video if you like Outlander, and click that subscribe button, and make sure to hit the bell along with it so you're notified every time that we go live or post a new video, because just subscribing alone will not do that for you.
Right. And just because Outlander is now over does not mean we're going to stop doing these. We actually are going to be...
Game of Thrones!
Yeah!
Thrones.
That is our next big one. We for sure will be doing it for Game of Thrones.
And Julia will be joining us for that one.
Yes, we will all be here.
Yes, Julia's not a fan of Outlander, so she dipped out like halfway through.
And yeah, if there's any other big shows that you like and you want us to try, we will look into those.
Yeah, leave them down in the suggestions. Like we're gonna probably do Stranger Things, American Horror Story again.
Any other big shows we are fans of and we like talking about? Even
if we haven't mentioned them before, let us know. We might do it.
Yeah.
And also, we have just launched our new campaign for our next huge production, which is a 6-part miniseries of Disney princesses mixed with The Bachelor. It's called The Bachelor Princess Edition.
Yeah.
And it is on Indiegogo. We have a link actually in the description box down below. And just for $1, you can already get your name in the credits for it. So definitely check that page out. We have the intro, like opening sequence cut together for you to kind of see the vibe we're going for. And we have a lot of Disney bounders.
Yeah,
that are
it's gonna be so much fun. They're all hilarious. When we were filming those clips, we were just laughing. We're like, we cannot wait to shoot this thing with them.
Yes.
So if you want to be part of it, one of the rewards is also to be in it.
Just come visit
on set. You can get a special shout out from one of the princesses.
Definitely check it out, guys. It is worth it. Thank you so much for everything. We love you. We'll see you at the next show.
Bye.
Bye.